Violence, says Josh Earnest. With me now, Texas Republican Congressman Roger Williams. Congressman, why can't he just call it what it is, the scene of a terror attack? He brings it back to gun violence and, of course, the issue of gun control. Your reaction to that?
Well, I don't know why he can't say that. You know, I represent Fort Hood in Texas, and we had the issue. We fought so hard to make him realize that the shootings that happened on November 5th, 2009 were not workplace violence, but was a terrorist attack. So the president certainly sees things different than certainly I do, and I think most of America. He can't admit it. He can't come to the conclusion that we are in war with terrorism, and he needs to address that, and that's one of the things that bothers me so much. He continues to lead from behind and will not lead our country in a time that a lot of Americans are concerned about where we're going and fear for their safety.
Is the failure to admit what it is just a bigger threat to this country as the act itself?
Well, I think the fact that if the enemy doesn't feel like that our leader does not realize what they're doing, it's going to empower them to do more and more and more. And, you know, I think that I take some reservation and would hope that at some point in time the president would reach out to the Muslim community and challenge them to address the problems they got within their community right now and help us change things here in America.
Yeah.
But right now, when you see what happened in California, I think it's just the beginning of what the enemy wants to do to us here.
Yeah, it disempowers also, you know, the moderate Muslims who could have joined in the fight to stop radical Islamic terrorists. And these Muslims around the world don't like this. But, sir, can you tell us more about your fight to get Fort Hood listed as a terrorist event and not workplace violence? Why was that such a tough go of it?
Well, that's a great question, Elizabeth, is why was it a tough challenge? Well, it was a challenge because he did not want to admit that it was a terrorist act, and they began to call it workplace violence. And, of course, anybody was there, anybody that saw the scene and talked to the victims and their families knew it was a terrorist attack. We had men and women, the best and brightest we had, were coming in. They were unarmed, and this terrorist opened fire on them and killed and wounded so many of our soldiers.
But who was giving you a hard time saying that, you know, this is workplace violence?
Well, the administration was. President Obama, Eric Holder, would not admit to it. Congressman John Carter and I led the charge to get it to be a terrorist act so these young men and women could get their benefits and their Purple Hearts. Finally, we were able to do that, as you know, in April of this year, but he still will not admit to it. So this is a big problem we got. He is not wanting to take on the biggest challenge of our lifetime right now, defend America, by realizing we are under attack by Islamic extremists, and we need to address this problem and let them know that we're going to fight to the end for our freedom and liberty that we love so dearly in America.
And with that in mind, Congressman, should we be stopping the flow of refugees into this country, given the concerns about what risk they may pose?
Well, I think there's no question that we need to address that issue. I am one that is not for support the funding of the 10,000 Syrians that are due to come in. But look, I'm from Texas, and we need to secure our border. This president, again, has turned his back on that. We do not secure our border. We have open borders. We know that terrorists are coming across not only the Texas border and the southern border, but the northern border. Let's secure our border, and then let's identify who's here, and let's move on.
All right. We are out of time. Congressman Williams, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your comments this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much.